Also, the cost of medicines, cost of people not being able to purchase medicine. I want to say I'm very glad. I very closely follow Health Minister Dr. Mandavya's Jan Aushadhi Kendras. We every now and then talk about it. The price of Jan Aushadhi medicines, is cheaper at least by 50%, and in some cases by 80% to 90% of the market price of branded medicine. The same branded medicine and what is available as a generic medicine here in Jan Aushadhi Kendra, 90%, 80%, and such differences. So I want that to be appreciated, that the Jan Aushadhi Kendra as a mission has succeeded in reaching medicines at affordable prices to the poor and the needy. And that is a big success. I credit one former and current health ministers who are here. In the last 8 years, starting from the annual turnover of 8 crores in a year, 2014-15, highest monthly sales turnover of 100 crore has been achieved in this. And therefore, this is something which I want you to take into cognizance. I want Kerala to have a lot more Jan Aushadhi Kendras so that your people in Kerala can benefit by affordable medicines. More than 3.28 crore persons have been treated free of cost because there was this concern, cash has to be paid, they can't afford it. Ayushman Bharat has given this facility of being treated free of cost. As on 7th April, I'm giving you the data, 3.28 crore persons have benefited from it, and 18 crore Ayushman cards have been issued. So the care of the poor is being fully kept in mind. Honorable Member Shakti Singh Gohil is here, and very many other members spoke about how Ujjwala is really not making a difference. You spread it, but then we all gave up. But then today there is a problem. I just want to highlight that as of May 21st, when we announced the excise duty cut, we agreed and we announced that 200 per gas cylinder up to 12 cylinders will be given to over 9 crore beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. We've not forgotten them. But the cost of the gas, LPG, is not in our hands. If we are importing it, and if the prices are going up, obviously we'll have to make sure that the poor get it at a concessional rate. We are giving 200 per cylinder, and not for 1, 2, 12 cylinders are being given that subsidy. It must be noted that between 2014, actually in 2014, there were only 16.8 crore LPG connections. It is today in 2022, 30.5 crore people benefiting from Ujjwala. The tomato, onions and potato scheme has been easy target of a lot of people saying nothing has made a difference in it. You announced it, Prime Minister Modi said it, but nothing. No, but I would want to just highlight what it is about. Actually, I'll start from over the span of less than 5 years under UPA 2, from May 2009 to November 2013. The average price of various food commodities were in triple digits, not double. Some of them went up that much. And I'm not exaggerating. Potato, onion, tomato, the increase in average price over this period, 2009 to 2013, was shockingly at 164% for potato, 323% for onion, and 160% for tomatoes. So that's the kind of increase in price happened during UPA 2. And today with top scheme, we are able to get more of these perishable goods to the market, give them capacities to store, and as a result of which, the prices have been held reasonably. In fact, in November 2013, sir, the price of onion had touched 100 rupees a kg in certain centers. Some of them, sir, you're from Assam, you'll know in places like Aizawl, it was already 100 rupees or more at that time, and tomato was costing 80. I'm glad that Rajni Tai remembered my exchange about onions in the Lok Sabha. Whether I eat or not Thai, we work to make sure that it is affordably available for everybody. So it doesn't matter whether I'm an onion eater or not, and all of us rejoiced at a minister being bullied, saying, oh, she doesn't eat onion, so she doesn't care for the poor who need to eat. But it's not just me. Prime Minister also has a concern, and that's why the top scheme succeeded. That I would like to quote that between the last month and this month, the reduction in the price, whereas what it was between 9 and 13. In 2009, May 1st, potato was 9 rupees. Whereas November 22, 2013, it was 26 rupees. Whereas what we have on July 29 is 26 only. We've contained the prices. Onions were 52.98 in 2013. It is 25.45 today, in July, on 29th July. Tomatoes, 46 rupees in November 2013. Today it is at 34. So, one of the things which we like everyone to take into cognizance, there were detailed questions about groundnut oil, mustard oil, vanaspati. I have data, I don't want to read it here, but proving that we are holding the prices carefully. And in the process, I'm not sure, one of the honorable members did ask, what is happening? The area under cultivation, I think it was one member from Telangana, area under cultivation of rice is going down, and area under cultivation of wheat, and then the export which was going, you halted it. There is a group of ministers headed by the Honorable Home Minister, which periodically reviews the Commerce and Industry Minister, Food Consumer Affairs Minister, Leader of the House here, is also a member of that committee, of the group. We periodically review the availability of cereals, pulses, dalhan, tilhan, and also the crop sowing, area, acreage under cultivation, and take calls accordingly. So it's not left high and dry. The government is looking at it because these are essential and we need to do something about it. So vulnerable sections of the society, because I would want to quote from Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, who's our ideologue, from whom we derive a lot of inspiration. He said, and I quote, "It is our thinking and principles that these uneducated and poor people are our gods. We have to worship them. It is our social and human dharma." That's what he said. And the Antyodaya which we practice is derived from that. And as a result, you will find that, let me list out some of the specific actions. Poor. Sorry? The poor.
Mr. Binay Bishop.
What is it?
Binay Bishop, not now.
I'll give you the data of what we're doing with farmers, sir. PM Ujjwala, I've already said, sir, 2014, 16.8 crores. Today it is 30.5 crores. Since we had Honorable Member Binay Vishwam talking about farmers, in 2014, there was no Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, but in 2022, we've already deposited 12.5 crores of plus number of farmers, 6,000 a year for each one of them. 12.5 crore plus farmers have received 6,000 each into their account per year. So we are looking at farmers and taking care of them. Jal Jeevan Mission, sir. In 2019, there were only 3.2 households, 3.2 crore households. Now, getting piped water, 9.6 crore households get piped water. taking care of the poor actually, not just throwing some money and saying, "Ah, दे दिया poor के लिए पैसा." नहीं, सचमुच पानी जा रहे उनके घर में नल के द्वारा 9.6 crore households. Sir, street vendors, PM Swanidhi Yojana, 2014, there was no scheme. 2022, 29 lakh plus get loans for under the PM Swanidhi so that they can do affordable loans, so that they can do their own work, but otherwise they don't have to give security. Without security, they get it. Ayushman Bharat, I've already said. Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana, 3.28 crores get free treatment. So let's please, I know member Sanjay Singh, he's not here, he was talking about poor ke liye, garib. We are attending to garib. In reality, as to what they need in their house is reaching them. Tiruchi Shivaji also mentioned some of these, garib ke liye kya hai. One point on which member Ranjan also speaks. Ranjan ji also spoke about. So you've given Ujjwala cylinders, but what's the use? The price is going up. And I've already told you that we've given for up to 12 cylinders in a year, 200 rupees each cylinder. But there is an important data I would like to highlight here. LPG coverage, sir, is defined as ratio of the active consumers to the total households which are getting covered. That has increased from 61.9% in 2016 to 102.2% in November of 2021. That's not possible unless people are having their refills made periodically. So it's not true that people are not coming for refills. Yes, the price has gone up. It is not in our hands, but still we are giving 200 rupees per cylinder for people so that they don't, that may not be sufficient. You can ask me to give them totally free the cylinder. They may deserve it, but I'll also have to consider how many people I can afford to give and so on. So,
You are covered already.
Amount has been reduced yesterday in the House. Amount is reduced to now only 242 crore is the subsidy amount.
से पूछना चाहती हूँ, सूचना के अधिकार के तहत नीमच के चंद्रशेखर गौड़ ने जो आंकड़े जुटाए हैं, उसके तहत 2021-22 में इंडियन ऑयल कॉर्पोरेशन 2.8 करोड़ ग्राहकों ने एक भी रिफिल नहीं कराया, 62.1 लाख ग्राहकों ने सिर्फ एक बार रिफिल कराया, हिंदुस्तान पेट्रोलियम कॉर्पोरेशन 49.44 लाख लोगों ने एक भी गैस साल में रिफिल नहीं कराया, 33.58 लाख ने सिर्फ एक बार कराया। बोलूं भारत पेट्रोलियम कॉर्पोरेशन 2021-22 30.10 लाख ग्राहकों ने एक बार रिफिल कराया, 24.60 लाख ग्राहक ने एक भी नहीं कराया। सर क्या बात है सर? 3.59 करोड़ साल भर में मात्र एक सिलेंडर भराया और 1.20 करोड़ ने सिर्फ एक भराया। इसके अकॉर्डिंग उज्ज्वला योजना के लाभार्थियों की संख्या में शामिल पिछले एक साल में 4.49 करोड़ ग्राहकों ने एक बार भी सिलेंडर नहीं भराया और 2.2 करोड़ ने सिर्फ एक बार। इसमें टोटल
एक मिनट
मैं जरूर आंसर दूंगी रंजीत रंजन जी। ऑनरेबल मेंबर रंजीत रंजन जी को चेयरमैन साहब आपके द्वारा आंसर देना चाहती हूं। सरकार बजट के द्वारा जब ये प्रोविजन करके घोषणा भी करती है और ये सब रेट पब्लिक में अवेलेबल है, ऑनरेबल मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट उनके अपने क्षेत्र में जाकर के गरीब के लिए ये सब्सिडी दिलवाए, उनके अपने कर्तव्य है जो सरकार के द्वारा। No, I'm sorry. You cannot ask me to give an answer you want. I will give an answer having heard it.
It cannot be
ये क्या है सर?
continuous. Please back down. Please back down.
Sir, this is no way.
Nothing will go on record. Who shall say it without my permission?
So I'm not yielding now, sir.
Permission, nothing will go wrong.
I'm not yielding now, sir. I'm not yielding now, sir. I sat down. आप सुन लीजिए जरा प्लीज, हाथ जोड़ करके मैं बोल रही हूँ, सुन लीजिए प्लीज.
सुन लीजिए, बैठिए.
I'm not claiming it.
It cannot be a verbal duel. So keep patience. आपने जिसको जब जो पूछता था पूछ लिया, मिनिस्टर यील्ड किया, आप मिनिस्टर जवाब दे रहे हैं, आप बैठिए.
Sir,
Please.
I'm addressing you, sir. I sat down, heard every member, sometimes in this place or sometimes from my room. And even now, I sat down, yielding to hear the honorable member. I heard the honorable member. And after which, I'm willing to give an answer. Maybe not the answer she would like, but I'm giving an answer. But not the answer that she wants, maybe. But that doesn't mean that this is not the way to give an answer. That's the answer I can give. You like it or you don't like it. With your permission, I've sat down, I've heard, and I'm also... And what is this? Constantly the minister will have to be listening. I am listening. But when I stand up to answer, there is interruption, there's running commentary, there is dictation. No, not that way. Sorry, sir. I'm willing to hear. I'm willing to sit and hear interruptions. I yield. And after that, I certainly give a reply. And I would think you would give me that, duty that I'm performing a chance.
Yes, definitely.
Please.
No.
Sir, there's also been a lot of question about, the center is collecting a lot of cess. Center is collecting a lot of cess. Before I go to that, sir, Honorable Member Derek O'Brien is not here, but he did raise something very interesting, saying families, when they think of the morning, the kind of things that they do, they buy toothpaste at this rate. When they go out, they have to get a cylinder and come. I just want to draw his attention, sir, to domestics, that grihani, grihastha, unka ध्यान में रखते हुए pre-GST rate. Huh? Of course, sir. Madam, I fully know. I'm purposely using it. I'm also a grihini and I use the word grihini, and I'm using the grihini because I've been told repeatedly, grihini ke dhan rakho, main grihini hoon. So, I hope you will not have an objection, sir.
आपने बोला, अब सुनने का समर्थ रखिए, Please.
That's my style of speaking, madam. I may not speak like Rajni Sai sweetly, but also keep saying things which have been already answered. My nature is different. I'm sorry, all of us are made of different stuff. You may have to put up with it. We are made of different stuff. Sir, Derek had raised this issue about how families have a worry. I just want to say GST has not increased the burden on families. And this I'm saying because the rates on some of the items before GST was far higher. And let me list out: tooth powder, 17% pre-GST, now it's 12%. Hair oil, 29.3% pre-GST, 18% under GST. Toothpaste, 29.3 pre-GST, 18 under GST. Soap, 29.3 under pre-GST, 18% under GST. Footwear, which is more than 1,000 rupees, 21%. GST is 18%. Paints, because I heard Honorable Member Jayant Chaudhary say we probably talk about tomatoes, potatoes, onions only, but sarai, saria, cement, paints, sir, and varnishes, which are necessary for the ordinary citizen to, make his house up. 31.3% pre-GST. It's 18% now, sir. Sugar, which आम घर में उपयोग में आता है, 6% pre-GST, now it's 5%. Sweet meats, मिठाई, दुकान से जो तो लेते हैं 7%, 5% now in GST, 7 under pre-GST. Washing machines, which has now become a common household thing, everybody wants some model or the other, 31.3% pre-GST, 18% now. Vacuum cleaners, 31.3%, 18% now. Televisions up to the size of 32 inches, 31.3%, now it's 18%. LPG stove, 21%, pre-GST, 18%. LED lamps, which Piyush as minister propagated that people should have LED lamps in their houses, 15% under pre-GST, GST is 12%. Kerosene pressure lantern, which for emergency we use in poor households, which till today didn't receive electricity, 8% before, 5% now. So, Derek O'Brien, families which want to buy things today are buying it at far lesser rate under the GST. Also, he's not here, I do not want to spend much time on it, but he also very simplistically, I'm not criticizing him, simplistically said US inflation is 9%, India's inflation is 7%. So actually speaking, Indian currency should be appreciating in value. Sir, the currency of a country does not get determined just by these one inflation there versus inflation here. There are so many other factors which go into the fixation of the value of a currency. He obviously talked about a few other things. I'm not getting into it. He said, but Raghuram Rajan, you quoted in Lok Sabha, but he's also said something more. Many other members also said. I've taken everything that Raghuram Rajan, former governor, as an economist, said. Suppose he's given a political opinion. No, I've not referred to it. Let me be clear on that. So, cess, sir, one quick word. A lot of concern has been expressed by a lot of members. What the centre collects as cess and what it spends. I have said as a part of the question hour as to how we spend money collected on cess. Till now, for instance, between 2013-14, 14-15, 15-16, till 22-23 BE, 3.77 lakh crores of cess has been collected. 3.77 lakh crores. What actually has been utilized is 3.93 lakh crore. Utilized, meaning states have received it, they've started using it, they've spent it. 3.93. So nearly 20 lakh has been given, lakh crore has been given as extra. 3.77, 3.93. State receive the cess as and when. Centre doesn't collect and sit with it, it goes to the states promptly, and sometimes much more than what has been collected goes to the states. This is something which I would like to say. With the collected cess, what do we do? Not my data, RBI's data shows very clearly the total developmental expenditure incurred by Modi government in 2014-22, between 14 and 22, was 90.9 lakh crores, far higher than what is being spoken about. In contrast, only 49.2 lakh crores were spent on this, meaning developmental expenditure, between 2004 and 14. So 10 years, 49.2 lakh, whereas between 14 and 22, 19.8 years, 90.9 lakhs is what we have spent on development. So cess collected goes to the state, development expenditure happens, that's the total we have spent. Expenditure incurred again by RBI, by Modi government on food, fuel and fertilizer subsidies, Honorable Member Sushil Modi spoke about how global fertilizer prices have costed us huge amounts in importing, but we have not passed that burden on to the farmer, and this is where the money is being spent. What is the amount? 24.85 lakh crores have been spent on food, fuel and fertilizer subsidies, and 26.3 lakh crores has been spent on capital creation, whereas 10 years of UPA saw only 13.9 lakh crores spent on subsidies of this nature. So cess collected, cess utilized. Has GST reduced the flow of resources to the states? I'll very quickly give a data which runs between 2015-16, before the introduction of GST, to today. Total flow of funds to the states have increased substantially, an average of 14.8%, approximately close to 15% during the first 5 years of GST, despite the pandemic. The pandemic has not reduced us. We've given what was expected to be given and given slightly more as well. Whereas the average growth before the introduction of GST was only 9%. So 9% before GST, and after that the states have received 14.8% average resource growth in the states. So no way cesses are growing, devolution is happening, GST revenues are reaching. So states, please, are receiving, and the misconception that cess is not being utilized by us for the state's benefit is not right. So I come to the last point of loan waivers and write-offs. Member Sanjay Singh had raised it. The confusion about write-offs are not waivers. Waivers are different, write-offs are different. This has been explained several times. But again, it's politically convenient, I suppose, to say, oh, you have written off, which means it's all waived off. They are not waived off. The bank's balance sheet gets cleaned up, but the bank's duty, it remains. And I can say that in the parliament I have answered questions about how much of Malaya's assets, Kingfisher Malaya's assets, have been brought back to the bank. How much of Nirav Modi's assets have been confiscated by the ED and given to the banks. So banks' dues are getting repaid. So write-off means that the bank's balance sheets are getting cleared, but the bank pursues, and all the securities which are lying with them are being legally auctioned, and the monies are being given back to the banks. So this...
No, let her reply. Let her reply be finished. No, this is not the way. This is not. I allowed you once, not all the time. It's not a verbal duel. It's not a running commentary. No, it's not a verbal. Please. Madam Minister, continue. Nothing on the call. Continue.
Last 2-3 points, sir. I'll finish with that. I know it's quite... I halted when I said the fitment committee, which is the first layer, and after that the GOM. The fitment committee, the paper was incomplete. Fitment committee, the states which were represented in the fitment committee: Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana, UP, Bihar, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. So all of them were in the fitment committee. From there, the GOM, in which I read out the states which were represented. After that, the GOM, which is headed by the Chief Minister of Karnataka. After that, the GST Council. Nowhere was a difference of opinion. The last few points, sir. Honorable Member Vaiko is here. He had a concern about ICUs are also being charged. No charge on ICUs, sir. And GST has imposed taxation, and because of that, there's a lot of even those items which were under the 28% rate at the stage of introducing the GST, there were more than 229 items, all with 28% rate. Gradually, after the introduction, through various council meetings, that 229 has come down now to just 28 items which are in the 28% rate, which means items are being brought down from higher tax rates to lower tax rates. And therefore, I sequentially link to Member Raghav Chadda, the new member, who said, obviously, they will not have any interest in bringing the GST corrections because it suits them. Because when the inflation is high, honorable members, do correct me if I've got him wrong. When the inflation is high, the same commodity is bought at a higher rate, and therefore the GST earned out of it will be far higher. And therefore the GST Council will not be in favor of reducing the rate. That was his case. I'm sorry, that is one economics which I'm learning today. If the rate is higher, people will stop buying it. If inflation is higher, consumption will come down. Naturally, my tax revenue will go down. Raghav Chadda ji, please, I want you to, okay? I want him to please, he's a young representative, new representative, partially throwing economics at people doesn't help. And it's also, let me please submit, demeaning a body like GST Council that they will not want to reduce. Their own Delhi finance minister and now their own Punjab finance minister is also there. Is he suggesting that their ministers will be happy if inflation goes up? That's wrong. I don't want cynicism to govern us. We are all capable of doing better. So I think largely I have addressed most of the issues, sir. So thank you very much for having given me this opportunity.
Thank you, Minister.